always said, life is like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're gonna get.
Lions, tigers, bears. Oh my!
I could have been a contender.
Welcome home, man.
Hey everyone, and thanks for joining us today on We Are Takoma.
Today we welcome to the show a man with an incredible journey. He's Takoma Park's Peace Delegate, Pat Loveless.
Thank you very much for having me.
Pat is here to share his story on his run-in with the Ku Klux Klan and how he never stopped fighting for peace.
Pat, can you take us back to that day on January 17th in Cummings, Georgia? What happened?
Yeah, that was in 1987. We had a march against racism, you know, like a brotherhood march, because they wouldn't let black people live in the county. And the march went pretty good for a long time. I didn't see anything going wrong. There was Klansmen down there on the opposition side, I knew that. But toward the end of the march, they all seemed to disappear. And after the march was pretty much done, I went to stake out a clear area so that me and my friends could get ready to come back up north. There's some people from New England that offered me a ride back up to Washington. And so I went with them. But we had to stake a spot out first. And while I was down there, somebody came up to me, one of the same people I ran into in the march. They were using racial language and everything else, the N-word, which I will not say. I don't like it. And they were saying I was a disgrace to the white race and everything. They asked me was I marching for the black people, but they didn't use that word. And I said, yes, I am, because we are equal. They're no better than I am. We're no better than they are. And all of a sudden, they said, well, we'll take this back to the States or whatever. They said something to that account. And he threw a large brick, some rocks and other stuff started being thrown at me. And then I got hit in the back of the left hand.
They also threw a bottle of urine.
Yeah, they threw a bottle of urine right before they attacked.
And then after, that's when a big rock came flying.
Shortly after that, yeah.
So you said you got hit in the left hand?
Yeah, the back of the left hand and where the base of the middle and ring fingers are.
Did it actually break anything
No.
or fracture anything? Oh, okay.
No, it didn't break any skin or anything. I was surprised. It had like a scrape, like when you know, you get if you rub your hand against the wall the wrong way.
Yes.
I got something like that.
And so you guys were there as a peace demonstration. I believe it was called the March Against Fear and Intimidation.
Yep, that was the name of it.
So after you got hit with this rock, what was like about a week later, you decided to go to the doctor because you felt like there was something wrong.
Well, I had it looked at the next day or so at the emergency room, and they said it was a bone bruise, and it was just localized. Because it started to form like a dark area around it. And they said that would go away. And it did for a while, and about 2 weeks later, I went back again because it was starting to stink and everything.
Was it turning black at this point?
It was starting to turn black.
Turn colors, okay.
So were you
like
actually
blisters around it.
Were you actually able to still use the hand, or was the hand pretty? Oh, you were still.
I was still able to use it.
And do normal things and pick up things with it and apply pressure.
Not very well, no.
No. Okay.
I could do some things with it, but I couldn't do a lot of anything heavy with it because a lot of weird feelings were in the upper part of my hand and fingers.
And so back then, Pat, you were on Medicaid, right?
Oh yeah.
And so you felt that doctors kind of just put you off to the side. They
Oh yeah,
treated
they
you
sort of like
a little
poo-pooed
differently.
me out of the office. They said, "Oh, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just localized. It'll heal over." They said, "We see this a lot. It'll heal over."
And so
And-
you returned because it didn't heal over.
I returned again after that because it wasn't healing. It was turning black and it was starting to stink like a dead body. And I realized that something in there was dead.
And so they tried to do a skin graft?
They tried to take that area out and do a skin graft over it.
And a skin graft is basically like a skin transplant.
Yep, they
For
take
those who
skin
don't know what that is.
off my hide, off my keister, and they put it on the finger, the part that they had already dug out.
And what happened after that skin graft? Was that a successful skin graft? Or?
For a short time.
Okay.
But then it started turning black on one of the other fingers. And the skin graft started to turn and blister up and everything, and that started turning black. So I went back and they said, sometimes this happens, they said.
So when did they tell you that it was gangrene?
Well, someone else told me that. And I told the doctor, I think I got gangrene in it, don't I? He says, you're heading in that direction, yes.
Wow.
Was this the same doctor the entire time, or
No.
had you gone to different doctors?
I've gone to different ones.
Okay. Okay.
And so when you found out, Pat, I mean, what was your reaction to that?
I was terrified. I didn't hear anything good about that. I knew a lot of diabetics get gangrene and die from it. A lot of people get seriously injured, get gangrene and die.
So they had to amputate
Yeah, they had to
the
amputate
two
after
fingers,
that.
the middle finger and the ring finger on the left hand, right?
Yeah. The middle finger and the little finger on the left hand went first, and half of the ring finger.
And so I see that it started to spread into your right hand.
Yeah, first it hit the right eye first.
Okay, so first it traveled up the bloodstream to your right eye.
Yeah, turned up in the right eye.
And so that area, well, I guess when we had spoken, you said that it started to rot. The
yeah.
area around it as well.
Yeah, the area around it and everything started to go.
Wow, just from that one incident.
Yeah, and they managed to get the eye out, and they put an implant in, a ball implant. And that worked for a long time. 10 years that worked, and then somehow or other it got going again. And it took the eyelids and everything. If you notice, there's nothing in there now.
Wow. So the eyelids as well, just...
Yeah, even the lids were damaged. No eyelashes or anything there now.
And how old were you when all of this happened, Pat?
Started when I was about 32 or 33.
Well, you're also not okay in your... Is it your right eye?
Yeah, the right eye, the retina and stuff, died off. The nerve tissue in the eye. They tried to repair it over and over again because it just kept detaching.
Do you have some vision in that eye?
Nothing.
Nothing at all?
No, zero. No light, no nothing. They said it was due to the other one because a lot of times when one eye gets like that, the other one is sure to follow.
And so how did you cope with that? I mean, losing the vision and
Oh,
losing
God.
one eye and then losing
friends,
vision in
my
the
friends
other?
helped me out. A lot of people at the demonstrations helped me out. Helped me deal with it.
And you're not too close to your family, is that correct?
No.
You grew up in Massachusetts, right?
Oh, yeah.
And your parents, they pretty much had racial views, right?
Yeah.
They were pretty racist. And so your family,
Somewhat, yeah.
growing up in that environment where your family, is, you guys don't have the same views. I mean, how was that growing up?
Pretty tough.
And then also the world around you.
Yeah.
At what point did you begin to develop your own views on
I don't
race
know.
and race relations?
I just don't know. I think I always had that. I couldn't understand why people couldn't like black people. I didn't see the logic behind it. Because I was meeting black people and they were all right to me. I couldn't figure out what everybody was coming from. So I just ignored them and went on about going what I believe in.
Do you feel like you got kind of shunned from your community, from the white community?
Yeah, I was shunned
During
from
that
all right.
time?
My father did not like the idea of me carrying a big peace sign around. Like he saw me doing it in 1980.
And you still carry those peace signs around, right?
Oh, yeah.
During the 4th of July parades, your
Yep.
protests.
I still do it.
When you did begin to have your suffer from the different ailments caused by the gangrene, did that ever discourage you from continuing the
No.
work you had been doing?
No, it
Never.
just wanted me to do it even more because I don't want to see somebody else go through this.
Mm-hmm.
If I give up, then somebody else is going to is sure to get hurt as a result of it. You'll be saying that they were right, and I'm not going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the way I go.
The interesting about you is that after you had the eye removed, it was about, what, less than a week or so, you went out to Virginia.
Yeah.
And you joined in another protest.
Yep.
And this was also against the KKK.
Oh, that one was Colonial Heights.
And
That's
so,
a week after they did the amputations.
I mean, why not stay home?
Because
know?
I don't believe in that. It's my country too.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have. If I want some changes done in my country, you don't have to carry a gun or a hand grenade to fight for your country. Mm-hmm. You don't have to dress up in army fatigues with weapons just to intimidate somebody and call that defending your country, because that's really not the way to go sometimes.
Were you scared to go?
No.
You weren't?
I was a little apprehensive, and that's about it, but scared, no.
Did you think you were going to get hurt again?
I didn't think so.
Did that particular march have a theme? I know the
Not
one we
really.
spoke about before was March Against Fear and Intimidation.
It was similar to that.
Yeah.
We didn't get bothered at all down there.
This was a bit more peaceful.
Yeah, a lot more peaceful. They're expecting on the news beforehand, in the TV, the dialogues, you're always saying they're expecting a lot of trouble.
Well, Pat, what takes the fear from doing these things? I mean, most people would be scared to actually go back a second time, in front of the same group of people.
Yeah, I know it.
What took the fear?
Because knowing if I never went back again, I caved into apprehension and gave way to fear.
Had there ever been any situations where you spoke with, you actually had I guess for lack of a better description, like a logical conversation with people who were against your protest?
I've had some.
Yeah. And did you ever feel like they made sense or they had a point with what they were saying as to why they felt?
No, not
No.
when it comes to racism, no.
Yeah.
What was
I couldn't
their
understand
reasoning?
it.
What were some of the reasons that you heard?
Oh, they were saying that the Bible tells us that the races have to be kept separate, for one thing. And they were telling me that, as a white person, I'm supposed to be fighting for my race. My race is the best race in the world. And I said, no, it ain't. I said, I'm no better than they are. I said, they have families. They cry like we do. They love each other like we do. Why do we have to attack them? They're human beings. Why do we have to hate them? I don't understand it. And that's what I mean. I told them I just simply don't understand it when it came to that. But I couldn't. I don't know where they were coming from. They just never went into it usually. They usually just stated what they believed in and left it at that.
And had you ever had any discussions with any KKK members directly? Or were they?
No,
That
never
was
got
the
too
only
close to
incident?
them.
Never, okay.
And what conversation we had didn't make sense. They were the ones that told me that I'm a disgrace to my race.
Well, Pat, thinking back on that day, was that man ever convicted?
I don't know. I don't think they ever got the one that did it. Somebody said he's in jail already for something else.
If he were convicted for this crime, would you want him to receive the death penalty?
Absolutely not.
Why?
Because I don't believe in the death penalty. I wasn't killed for one thing, and killing somebody else is not going to do anything to help me.
But do you think it would be justice? I mean, someone who changed your life so much. I mean, in so many
No,
different
that
ways.
wouldn't be justice. That'd be just revenge. Just getting back at them, getting even, and that's not right. Only God has the right to take a life. I don't have the right to take it or support it.
Something else you're very passionate about, Pat, is voting. Voting rights, right?
Oh yeah, perfect example of that is the last couple of elections. I've been doing everything I could to get people out to vote. And I asked somebody if they're going to come out and vote, and they said it was too cold to vote today. I said, no, it ain't. I'm going out to vote. I'll be out there all day at the polls. He goes, in your condition? I said, yeah, in my condition. Of course, I'm going out to vote.
And in the cold?
In the cold and everything, yeah. It wasn't that cold that day. It was only about 30-something that day.
But I mean, your passion just triumphs over everything, weather, health conditions.
Yep.
I mean, if you have a ride, you're there.
Oh, yeah. I'm there then. If I get a ride, I am there.
No
Rain,
excuses,
snow,
right?
anything.
No, it seems like you literally have no excuses.
Nope. So other people, if they have no excuse for not voting, we got early voting now. We got absentee voting, and even emergency ballots if you land in the hospital on the way to the polls.
I actually didn't know that. Is that?
Yeah, I'd call up my councilman and have him bring in a ballot, and I'd be able to fill it out the way I want to have it filled out, and then he could deliver it to the election judges.
I had no idea.
And what is that called? Emergency?
I think he called it an emergency ballot.
Emergency ballot. Okay, yeah, I didn't know about that.
There were times when I wouldn't make an appointment on voting day. Nothing happens on that day except the voting. That whole day I keep aside because I like to get on the polls carrying the peace sign and reminding people what the Takoma really is. It's a city of peace. We got to keep it that way. We've led the charge in this country on many different environmental and peace issues, justice issues. And we should continue that, and by voting, you're continuing that. I keep telling people that when a kid reaches 18 years old, going out and buying a case of beer and a couple of joints is not the way to celebrate entering adulthood. That's entering stupidityhood. You know, it's welcome to Jackassic Park if you're going to enter life that way. I think the way to enter adulthood is by getting a voter registration kit, registering to vote, and going down to deliver that so you got your name on the registry. And then you can go down and vote.
And then you can celebrate.
Then you're celebrating your passage into adulthood.
Pat, what is something that you love about Takoma Park? Being its peace delegate, you are the first peace delegate of the city. I mean, what do you love about the city?
I just love the way the people are. I just love the way it looks, the city, the way we take care of things. I love the trees.
And you've been here for about, what, nearly 17 years now?
Oh, yeah,
You've been
17
living here?
years in May.
What brought you to Takoma Park?
Well, I was living in D.C. at the time. And the one I was living with, you know, I couldn't stay with her after I went blind because I couldn't work for her anymore. After I went into totality, I couldn't work for her anymore, and she just decided that she couldn't have me staying there.
And you used to be a carpenter?
Yep, carpenter and a tile setter.
Okay.
And the one, you know, the one that puts those tiles in your bathroom and kitchen, those little square things.
Yeah.
I'm the one that does that.
You also created some of your own peace signs, right?
Oh yeah, I created all of them.
Even this yellow one that we have.
Oh
here
yeah, I
on
made
stage.
that.
Oh really? Wow, very symmetrical. It's actually really nice.
How
yeah.
old is this sign? When did you make it?
Oh God, I don't know, 1985, I think, or 89.
Yeah.
And this red one here is pretty famous because
Oh, yeah.
you carry that one around just about everywhere, every demonstration
Oh
you
yeah,
go to.
now I use the red one, the red and white one.
And you were saying that when you left D.C., how did someone tell you about Takoma Park? Or was
A
it
friend
pure
of mine lived in
coincidence?
Silver Spring, and I went to stay with him for a few weeks.
At what point did you actually become a peace delegate? Was it shortly after that, or did it take some time?
Oh, it took a lot of time before it was officially recognized. But it was recognized in, I believe it was 2010.
You just basically would come to the council meetings, would be outspoken.
Oh yeah,
Is that what got you recognized?
pretty much. That and a lot of the other demonstrations I've been doing over the years.
And before you, there was no other peace delegate?
No, not
You're
in the country, I don't think.
Oh, not in
You
the
may be the
country.
first in the country then.
That's what I heard, yeah.
Oh. Do you know if there have been any since?
I don't know, but I hope there is. I hope other cities and towns appoint a peace delegate for them too. And they could do the same thing, like getting people to vote and mentioning the importance of voting and mentioning the importance of nonviolence. Try and promote, you know, a good role model for the kids to look up to.
A role model, you mentioning that just kind of brings me to Terry Siemens. He's
Yeah.
actually the council member for the 4th Ward. And you guys have established a good friendship, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, how did you guys come to meet each other? I mean, he's usually here, you know, strolling you in, you know, in the beginning of the council meetings. I mean, how did you guys develop that type of friendship?
I saw him down in front of a building one time and asked him if I could say something at the city council meeting, if I wanted to bring something up. And he says, come on down to the meeting, we'll bring you down. So he brought me down to the city council meetings, and I've been doing it ever since.
How long ago was this?
I don't know,
Too
8
long.
years, maybe 10, close
Okay.
to it.
Wow, you guys have been friends for that long.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've known him for a long time.
So what is it about Terry that you feel makes you all sort of so compatible, or what is it about you two that makes your relationship last this long?
We care about things like our city. We care about what goes on in the world around us. He cares about the people. He does things for the people. He's not just saying, oh, it's really nice, and then turn around and walk away. No, he does stuff. And he goes out and gets the food packages, the Manna food package, and brings it to the poor people in our neighborhood, the Franklin apartments. Him and his wife, Joyce, they bring the food over and they distribute it, the boxes of donated food for us. And it helps our month go by a lot easier.
And speaking of Terry, we actually have a clip that we're going to go to right now. So we will be back in a moment.
Today in Montgomery County, foreign-born residents account for 30% of our population.
Uno de cada 3 habitantes habla un idioma distinto al inglés en su casa.
今日盟郡每7人中就有1人无法用英语交流。
Le gouvernement local de Montgomery County cherche à supprimer les barrières linguistiques et à améliorer la communication et l'accès aux services pour les résidents étrangers.
카운티 부서 통역과 번역을 통해 지원을 제공할 수 있습니다. 카운티의 홈페이지는 5가지 언어로 번역될 수 있습니다.
Văn phòng đều có nguồn lực để cung cấp dịch vụ hỗ trợ ngôn ngữ, bao gồm cả cảnh sát, y tế và dịch vụ con người, thư viện, bảo vệ người tiêu dùng và những dịch vụ cho những người cao niên.
በሞንትጎመሪ ካውንቲ ውስጥ በጣም አስፈላጊ የሆኑ መረጃዎችና ማስታወቂያዎች ሁሉ በተለያዩ ቋንቋዎች ተተርጉመው ይገኛሉ። እንደዚሁም አብዛኛዎቹ የመንግስት መስሪያ ቤቶችና ቢሮዎች የተለያዩ ቋንቋዎችን የሚናገሩ ሰራተኞች አሏቸው። ካስፈለገም በአስተርጓሚነት ሊረዱ ይችላሉ።
If you need language assistance or know somebody who does, just ask county staff. They'll be glad to help. For more information, go to montgomerycountymd.gov/LEP.
I've been clean 4 years.
56 days.
I've been in long-term recovery for 23 years.
I've been in recovery for 6 months and 11.
I've been in recovery for over 15 years.
Every September, people gather all across the country to celebrate recovery from addiction.
I am so grateful for 19 years of recovery. It's changed my life, changed my children's life.
For information or for events near you, visit recoverymonth.gov. Get involved and join the Voices for Recovery.
So I asked my uncle, what's a special interest? He says they run Washington. He said they're groups of special interest in getting bills through Congress or the State House. So I said, I'm a Boy Scout, and our supporters help make a difference by educating elected officials on issues. Does that make me a special interest too? I guess my uncle thinks the Boy Scouts are helping to run Washington. Am I missing something?
Learn more about American democracy by logging on to representativedemocracy.org.
Wow, I met Pat, I think, about 1998 as I was going around the ward and trying to learn about the ward and about the people. And at that time, Pat was still walking. He wasn't in a wheelchair. He had a white cane, and he was going blind at that point, I believe.
It started out he was a constituent, but I certainly has developed into a friendship through the years. And of course, when you see anyone go through so many health issues as he has, it's very hard. You hate to see anyone suffer like that, but on the other side, I can't really say that Pat suffers. He really seems to accept it and just keep plowing on. Everyone can learn a lot from Pat as far as, like I say, his attitude about life. When you wake up in the morning and you have a little ache or pain, it's a lot easier to face that when you think about Pat and what he faces day in and day out. He faces it with a smile and with an acceptance that I think few of us do until we get a chance to meet someone like Pat. Pat's a strong peace advocate, and I think that's something this whole country should be concentrating more on. Pat has developed a great persistence that has served him well through his health issues, and like I say, his whole attitude is, he doesn't view his health setbacks as a disability in any way. He gets frustrated sometimes with things, but he always sees them as just challenges of how can he continue on even though he has this new obstacle that he has to overcome. Live with your life with what you're given and not complain about what you've lost. Pat is the city's official peace advocate and our peace delegate, and I think he does a marvelous job. He does a job that's better than I think many other people could do. Again, even though he faces some challenges, he makes a perfect peace delegate for the city.
And we're back after hearing some words from the council member Terry Siemens. Pat, during the break, you had said that when you're able to see your bones, that's when you really start to think about life and what it means. I mean, what does it mean to you?
Life means that we're all the same inside and otherwise. We're all the same. Because when you can literally look down and see your own bones, because when you get gangrene, it literally skeletonized the fingers on the right hand. They were literally skeletonized. And that was very painful. But when you can look down and you can see or hold your own bones, you realize that you're equal like anybody else is on this planet. They have bones just like I do, and they feel pain like I do. And I'm working to make life better for all of us.
It seemed like you turned a negative into a very positive lesson for yourself.
Yeah, everybody said that too.
And it takes a lot of strength to do that. Not many people can say that they can be pretty resilient like that.
Yep, but when you can see that, something like that, it reminds you that you haven't got forever on this earth to screw away. I don't know how much time I've got left. I've had open heart surgery and everything else.
You also have Wegener's, what is it?
I also have a condition called Wegener's granulomatosis.
And what does that condition do?
That causes, it was causing pneumonias and other symptoms around the body. I was getting inflamed joints.
It's an autoimmune disorder, right? And
yeah.
Basically, that's when your body starts to attack itself.
Yeah,
right?
It attacks itself
the white blood cells,
because of I had gangrene so many times. And the bone was sticking out for a year and a half.
For a year and a half?
Yeah,
the bone.
For the medical assistants finally get the guts to cover it. But by then, all they had to do was just trim it off and it was done.
Do you feel like something could have been done to prevent all this?
To prevent the gangrene? Probably not.
No? You think it was just pretty much...
They should have taken it off immediately upon sight.
Yeah.
And that probably may not have spread so fast or so far. But once that happens, you reminded me that we're all equal.
Do you have any regrets, Pat, of going that day?
No.
None?
None.
Did you ever, in the beginning?
No.
Never?
No, I never regretted it.
Not even while you were going through all this?
No, I would never did it. But like he was saying about granulomatosis, everybody was asking me what that was. And I was explaining to him that you get pneumonias and you get other conditions. Yeah, like right now, I had bone fractures for no reason in the back. My backbone collapsed and fractured about 9 times. From what they call compression fractures, because my bones got very, very thin after about 12 years ago. After the bones in these fingers were sticking out, my immune system attacks the bones and breaks them up. separates them from the body, and that happens so many times. It's going to have untoward effects on the rest of your body, and that's what happened.
Is there anything that can be done?
Oh yeah, I'm on prednisone and other medications now to keep it in a dormant state. But for a cure for that, no, there isn't one.
And I mean, time has passed, and I mean, you also have, well, now you have great health care.
Now I have great health care, yes. And I think we all should have great health care with the money they're spending on that war and these trillions of dollars they're talking about like it's nothing to fight wars. You know, this country should have equal justice for all of us and equal health care. Yet we haven't got it. If you want to have good health care, a lot of people have to put their loved ones in a nursing home. It costs 3 times as much to put a person in a nursing home than it does to take care of them in home care with the waiver program, the older adult waiver. I'm in the older adult waiver program, and they send a nurse's aide over for 11 hours a day, every day, 7 days a week. They help me with the medications. They help me with my eating and stuff. They help me with my food. They help me with my shopping and everything.
Good company.
They help me with my showering. Yeah. They're also very good company. And they should do that rather than putting people in a nursing home, because it only costs 1/3 the amount. Like, you could put three of me in a nursing home or a state hospital or an institution. You know, then you could. Then it would be to keep me out. Keeping me out, you could pay for 3 people you could put away. That is doing the system backwards. We need to get good health care where everybody is eligible for it. Everybody, not just some of us. Because I'm no better than the guy down the street. If he got sick or something like that, he deserves the exact same health care I'm getting.
Pat, you know, there's so many political views, different political views out there. Did you ever feel like it's not going to happen, maybe? Like, did you ever feel the need to, or the want to give up?
No.
Never?
You can't give up. I can't give up. I don't know how much time left I have on this world. This has been several times lately. The last few years, or 5 years, I almost died. Yep, I had a quadruple bypass graft in my heart because of scar tissue and from inflammation. You know, the vasculitis that comes from granulomatosis. Formed like thick scar tissue on the arteries and veins in the heart.
Oh my God.
And they had to replace them all. And they did the, about 2 years ago, I had a blood clot in the right lung. And they said that was definitely due to the granulomatosis. It was a giant blood clot. And they had to break that up. And I almost died then. So I don't know how much time I got left in this world. I just had no idea. And again, I had the stomach disorder, gastrophoresis, that comes on because of the granulomatosis. You start vomiting every 15 minutes and it won't go away for weeks. You can't hold food or water down. I land in the emergency room all the time with that, if I get it. Only once so far could I avoid the ER that way, because it went away and the next morning we had it gone.
As the Peace Delegate to Takoma Park, what do you want your legacy to be?
I want people to remember what they can do for peace, to teach their children that they don't have to have these war heroes to look up to all the time. They can get a good hero like I do. Martin Luther King was my hero. You know, they could, if we got taught our children love from the beginning, they could grow up like me too. You know, you got to keep our kids out of street gangs and away from the wrong influences. That would help. And I want to make the world a lot better than it was when I first got it. Like I was saying earlier, I don't know how much time I got left. That's why I haven't given up. Because I don't want to give up and say, let somebody else do it. And then if something happens, like we have a nuclear war, I'd be one of the ones sitting there saying, oh shit, why didn't I do something about this? I could have done something. Instead, I'll be one of the ones saying there, well, I tried my damnedest. I did my best. And I want other kids to grow up the same way. I want them to be able to say they did their best. I want every mother and father in this country to be able to look their child in the eyes and say, I love you. I did my best for this world. If we're ever going to have a thermonuclear war, I want them to look their kid in the eye with respect and say, I did my best. I don't want them one of the ones sitting there saying, oh crap, I didn't do nothing. Could I have done something? One person can make a difference.
A little bit earlier, you made mention to someone you looked up to, which was Dr. Martin Luther King.
Oh, yeah.
Is there anyone or any organization today that you look up to or you admire or respect for what they're doing?
Quite a bit of them. There's a lot of them I like.
Could you name a few, one or two?
But one thing I like Terry Siemens. He's really given me an inspiration too. He's 66 years old. There's a lot of people, I couldn't count them all. But mainly it was Martin Luther King, John Lennon, and a few others.
What particularly struck you about them?
The way they worked for peace. John Lennon sang songs of peace. You know, Martin Luther King, he brought he went out and supported the different people. Like I'm trying to do. I'm trying to support peace and social justice.
Pat, if there was someone here, someone who wants to be an agent of change and doesn't really know exactly how or doesn't know how to overcome their fear, what would you say to them? Just come on down to a demonstration. Just try it out for the first time. Don't be afraid. There's no one there going to bite your head off. You can be getting the crowd somewhere where they're not going to bother you. I was right up in the front row when I got nailed. You were in
the right after the demo.
And do you still believe in the power of protest? Do you still think that in this day and age protests can still be effective?
Oh yes, I sure can. That's why I'd like to see more people standing up for what's just. People have got to stand up against the wars instead of just sitting back and saying, well, nothing's going on. We got Obama in office. We got it made. We don't have it made just because Obama's in office. Because remember, Obama can't do nothing unless Congress lets him do it. And Congress has been an obstructionist since he got in. They won't let him pass the budgets he wants. They won't let him, they're trying to block his health care. They're trying to do everything backwards. And Barack Obama's doing his damnedest to do it. Thank God he's got a second term. That goes to show the people really do want change.
Pat, is there anything else that you want to say today here?
I would like to see people realize that the days of racism have come and gone. They're over. Like the dinosaurs, they've gone. We got to realize that. We're all going to live together as brothers and sisters or perish together as fools, as Martin Luther King said. Because if we don't, we're not going to have a world to bring our kids up in. I mean, it's never too late to become active again. You can be a redneck all the way up to your 70s, and then about 81 years old, if you're still alive, you can become an activist. You can change your tune at any time. You don't have to say, well, I've been like this all my life. I can't change now. It's not true.
Do you think it's possible for your dream of peace to still come true?
I think it's possible.
Yeah.
Pat,
if we can spend $1 trillion on one war, the Iraq War, if we can spend over $1 trillion on that, not billion or million, but trillion with a T, if we can do that, we can afford health care for our people. And the people have to realize that. The people have got to say, I'm paying the taxes, and you're giving me something I did not buy. We're paying for it, whether we know it or not. We're paying for that war. Our taxes. That's why we've all got to get together and speak out against it and learn how to vote. Vote for the proper Congress people. Vote for the proper president. But the main thing is get out there and vote. You know, educate your kids. You know, bring up your kids on social justice issues. Don't go out and buy them toys of war. You don't buy them a toy gun.
The toy guns, yeah.
You don't want to go out and buy them toy guns and stuff and teach them that, you know, that violence is the way to settle a dispute. Because in real life, the gun may go bang, bang, but the guy is not getting up. He's laying there in a pool of blood. It ain't right. We got to teach people not to do that. by the proper education starts at very young, before you even go to school. It starts in the home.
Do you believe that the day of racism has really come and gone? Do you?
It's on the edge right now, leaving.
Do you think it doesn't exist?
It can go either way.
Discrimination?
It could go either way. We're having discrimination now a lot of times against women and against the gay and lesbian people now. That's starting to go away. And we are still having some problems with race.
So you don't think that there will always be some form of discrimination?
I hope someday there isn't. I hope to God we can grow up and overcome that immature hatred. Because, you know, there's no sense in it. There is really no sense in it.
And going forward, Pat, one last thing. Would you be, I haven't heard much about other peace delegates or, you know, younger generations becoming peace delegates. Is that something that you're open to?
Oh, I'd love to see that.
Yeah. Okay.
I'd love to see every city and every town and jurisdiction in this country. I'd like to see every one of them appointed a peace delegate. Then they can go in their city councils and speak up. They can go around the town and speak up about the importance of voting, about the importance of an education, the importance of standing up and speaking for what's right. You know, you can also help steer your local governments in the right direction. Just imagine if every town and jurisdiction in this city had an active peace delegate, and they started promoting the peace and voting and stuff like that. You're going to see a big change, though, because the country would have to stand up and listen. Because if every city and town was working toward peace, think about the country. We would have accomplished it.
Mm-hmm. So just starting off small.
Yeah.
Makes a big reaction.
It starts out really big. If every city and town, it would be a big reaction already. Mm-hmm. It would be a big reaction right there.
Well, Pat, you're definitely an inspiration to us all. I know to myself personally.
Agreed.
Definitely a big inspiration to me. I mean, you don't give up. No matter what you're going through, it seems like you're right there.
Mm-hmm. People are always commenting on that. Mm-hmm. And I'd like to see everybody get out and learn the importance of voting. I'd like to invite everybody to come down to the council meeting and learn how your city government works. Mm-hmm. You know, they're not going to kill you down here. You're going to love it. Matter of fact, they had the Boy Scouts down here a couple of weeks ago. They had the Boy Scouts down here getting their merit badges on citizenship. And I admire them for that. We have the Young Activist Club. You know, school kids working to change their city. You know, getting rid of the styrofoam plastics in the schools and keeping that pool open in Piney Branch Elementary, keeping the pool open. And they succeeded, and that was just a group of kids. Think about what adults can do too. And one person can make a difference. I've done it. I've gotten the death penalty resolution passed in the city council, protesting the death penalty. I got that down there as a resolution already. And we've also gotten the resolution against indefinite torture, against indefinite detention. We got that resolution passed. And at first they didn't think it was a Takoma Park issue, but I kept explaining them over the months that we have to get that through.
Well, Pat, thank you so much for joining us today on the
thank
show.
You
I mean,
very
we really
much,
appreciate
Pat.
your time.
Yeah.
And like I said, I mean, you're definitely a big inspiration to us, to the city, to many of those who are watching.
And it's not just the city that can see this either. The whole county can see it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's definitely true.
Yep. And that brings us to the end of today's show. We've run out of time. If anyone out there is interested in reaching out to Pat, you heard him say a little bit earlier that you can catch him at every city council meeting, and that is on Monday nights at normally
7:30.
7:30, normally 7:30 at the Takoma Park Community Center. So definitely keep an eye out for him there. And that's all we have, yes?
Well, from all of us here at We Are Takoma, thanks for watching.
And not just watch it on TV, come out and help make it happen.
Definitely. See you next time.
Love it.
Council will stand in session. Roll call, please.
I'm not here asking you to stop growth.
A member of my family was killed with a gun. It can happen, and it does, and it was an accident.
I implore you to vote against these fares and cutting services.
Aye passes 5-2.
A lot can happen in a day. We'll make sure you don't miss a thing.
Only on public access.
Why do people think there's more disagreement in the state legislature than in most families? My brother and I argue about everything, even which TV show to watch. Mom says our elected officials debate important issues every day, and they may argue too, but in the end they compromise, and that's how the best decisions are made. Am I missing something?
Learn more about how compromise works by logging on to www.representative-democracy.org.
The financial problem started when I was injured at work. There was no money coming in. I had to figure something out quick.
We received our letter of default around Christmas time.
There's nothing worse than having the fear that you're about to lose your home. The desperation that goes along with that is very intense for just anyone. We did go out to see if we could find some foreclosure prevention companies, but during the conversation and meeting with them, we found out that the first thing that they wanted up front from us was money before we even filled out the application. There's lots of companies that were offering the services and making a lot of promises to us that they could save our home. I really just didn't feel comfortable with them at all, and I just decided to take another path.
There are a lot of companies claiming that they can stop the foreclosure process or help you modify your loan. You should be extremely cautious of people who make any guarantee, ask for money up front, or tell you to make your mortgage payments to them.
I called one of them loan modification specialists. They said they could help. They needed a $500 deposit and then $3,000 after that. They said they had attorneys working on their side. They would talk to the mortgage company. They took my money and they didn't do anything for us at all.
We were desperate to save our house, and I guess that's why we believed in them.
It was just a scam.
All of a sudden on a Saturday night, our front doorbell rings. I open the door and there's this lady on our front step talking at the top of her voice saying, "You're going into foreclosure, you're going to lose your home." Well, I immediately asked her to leave. I then called my servicer and they didn't know anything about her. Apparently it was a scam.
Unfortunately, there are a lot of scam artists out there. Some even look to be affiliated with the government. Their websites have official-looking logos and graphics, and their names include words like federal. Hope Now connects you with counselors that provide free foreclosure prevention assistance.
When I met with the counselor that Hope Now connected me with, I was a little suspicious when I first went in there. I noticed that she didn't ask me for any money. I really felt that there was someone finally here that could help me now. I do believe that Hope Now saved my house. If it wasn't for them, I don't know where I would be. We probably wouldn't be sitting here today.
Our counselor was so professional, I was impressed. She looked at our entire situation and helped guide us through the whole process. Everything that she has done was free, no cost to us.
Time is of the essence when it comes to the risk of foreclosure. No one can guarantee you can get a loan modification or that they can stop the foreclosure process. But if you are in trouble, the first thing to do is contact your mortgage company and get housing counseling. You can do this by contacting the Homeowners Hope Hotline at 888-995-HOPE. The sooner you call, the sooner you can get peace of mind.
It's very scary knowing you could lose your house. You feel like you're all alone in the world. It's hard to know who you can trust, but you can't let that fear lead you down the wrong path with people who might be out to scam you. There are real people offering real help, and they're at 888-995-HOPE.
Finding your water meter and reading your water meter can be difficult at times. My name is Rutland Jones III, WSSC Customer Care Team, and I'm here to make that easier for you. Let's figure out where your water meters are located. They may be in the basement, they may be in the utility room, which has your washer and dryer in it, and they may be under your stairwell. There are several different meters in the WSSC district. Regardless of which one you have in your home, you always read the meters from left to right, all 7 digits. Some customers may have a meter like this, which has 8 moving digits. You only want to read 7 of those digits and stop at the decimal point, from left to right. WSSC reads residential water meters quarterly. If your meter is located inside your house, in most cases, we can read it without needing access to your home. Most inside meters have remote reading devices which are attached to the exterior of the house. Water meters for homes in older neighborhoods are often located outside in the pit, near the sidewalk or the curb. For safety reasons, customers should never open the pit or try to read a meter inside. We do that for you.
New opportunities light the way to career choices each semester for students in Montgomery County. 5 years ago, an awareness grew that some students had increasing pressure to leave school before graduation. When the bell rings at the end of the school day, students scatter. While others go home to friends, some kids have to help with the family finances. School becomes a haven they can't afford. Now, through the Partnership Youth Initiative, more opportunities are available. Local businesses are stepping forward to guide young students towards the future. Open a door for youth seeking mentors and future career choices. Hope is a gift we all can share. Join us in the Partnership Youth Initiative. Invest in our community by helping youth in underserved neighborhoods. Guide students by providing business mentoring, job skills training, financial literacy, and job placement to achieve financial stability in the future.